You ever felt stuck in a rut? Like life just isn't moving forward? Like every day is just the same, and you're going in circles? Well, let me tell you something important. Even when it feels like everything's standing still, God is still working behind the scenes. It might seem like you're lost or that your life isn't heading anywhere, but it's in those moments of silence that God is actually preparing something incredible. Think of it like an artist. Before they paint the masterpiece, they observe, they plan, they prepare every detail, every color. In the same way, God is getting ready to create something beautiful in your life, even if you can't see it just yet. Sometimes we get so used to our routine, to our comfort, that we forget life is a journey of constant transformation. And trust me, if you're feeling stuck, unsure, or like something just isn't right, it could be a sign that God is about to lead you to something bigger, something better. And you know what's amazing? God works in the background. When you don't see it, when you don't feel it, that's when He's orchestrating everything to lead you down a new path, to open new doors, to bring growth, healing, and purpose to your life. So, the next time you feel that way, remember, God's silence doesn't mean His absence. It's preparation. He's shaping you, molding you, like a precious jewel, so that in the right moment, you'll shine and step into the plan He's always had for you. God is always working, even when you don't perceive it. And when you finally come out of that season, you'll look back and realize that every moment of waiting, every doubt, every uncertainty was leading you to something much greater. So be alert, because the transformation God has for your life, it's only just beginning. And then comes that feeling, you know, the one I'm talking about, that restlessness, like something deep inside is unsettled. It's that little voice telling you, there's more, you don't belong here. You might be comfortable with everything seeming to go just fine, but suddenly, something inside starts to shift. That discomfort is God calling you out of your comfort zone. And yeah, it feels strange because we're wired to seek security, to stay where things are familiar. But when you start feeling that unease, that urge for something different, it's because God is inviting you to grow, to take a step of faith into something new. And you know, God won't leave you where you are if He knows there's something greater ahead for you. That discomfort is like a mother eagle pushing her chicks out of the nest. At first, it seems chaotic, it seems scary. But it's only in that fall, in that leap of faith, that they learn to fly. So don't ignore that restlessness. It's a clear sign you're stepping into a season of change. It could be a new career path, a shift in a relationship, or even something deep within you that God wants to transform. It's His way of telling you that you weren't made to stay in one place but to move, to grow, to reach everything He's prepared for you. When you feel that nudge, don't fight it. Instead, ask, God, what are you trying to show me? Where are you leading me? Because that discomfort is just the beginning of an amazing transformation. And you know what often follows that restlessness? Doors start to close. Challenges start showing up. Suddenly, the things that seemed stable begin to fall apart. And I get it, it can be scary. It can feel like everything is going in the opposite direction of what you hoped for. But here's something you need to know. Sometimes those closed doors are God's way of redirecting you. You know that situation where something you thought was a sure thing just slips away? A job that seemed perfect, a relationship you were certain would last, an opportunity that felt like it was yours, and then, out of nowhere, it's gone. It's tough to see it in the moment, but remember, God never shuts a door without already having another one prepared for you. These challenges, these obstacles, they're like divine road signs. When a door closes, it's because He's opening another, guiding you to a different purpose, something better that you can't see yet. Maybe He's protecting you from something you don't know about, or He's steering you toward a path that's going to bring more joy, more growth in the long run. And when it seems like provision is drying up, when the path seems to be narrowing, that's God preparing you for something greater. Sometimes He has to strip things away to make space for the new things He's bringing into your life. So don't get discouraged when a door closes. Don't lose heart when you face challenges. It might feel like the end, but it's really the beginning of something incredible that God's been preparing for you all along. Every closed door is an invitation to trust Him more and to step into a new destination. And as those doors close and you start moving in a new direction, something even more powerful begins to happen inside you. God changes your perspective. Things that used to matter so much suddenly don't seem that important anymore. Your passions shift, your priorities realign, and even the way you see the people around you changes. This change in perspective is one of the most profound ways God leads you into the new. You start to realize that certain friendships, certain environments, certain habits, they just don't fit into the life God is shaping for you. It's like He's cleaning house, clearing away anything that could hold you back from where He wants to take you. And along with this new perspective come new passions, new motivations. Suddenly, things that you never noticed before catch your heart. Maybe it's a desire to serve others, get involved in a different project, or invest in deeper, more meaningful relationships. God plants new desires in your heart, aligning them with the next season of your life. And don't be afraid of these changes. It can be confusing at first, because sometimes it means letting go of things that have been part of your life for a long time. But remember, when God changes your perspective, it's because He's getting you ready for something richer, something fuller. It's like He's adjusting your focus so you can see what really matters. So, follow that new vision, lean into those new passions, and allow God to transform your heart. Because when He changes how you see, it's so you can clearly understand the purpose and abundance of the life He's calling you into. And as your perspective shifts and you embrace those new passions, you start noticing something else. Certain people come into your life at just the right time. It's like they appear out of nowhere, with the perfect encouragement, the help you didn't know you needed, or simply standing by you when you felt alone. These aren't just coincidences. These are what I like to call destiny helpers. These divine connections are sent by God for specific seasons in your journey. They're the ones who play a critical role in pushing you forward, in helping you step into the calling God has for you. It might be that friend who shows up with wise advice out of the blue, or a mentor who crosses your path and opens up a new world of possibilities. Sometimes, it's just someone who inspires you or even challenges you to grow and be better. And what's amazing is that these connections often come in the most unlikely moments. You could be going through a storm, feeling like you're at your lowest, and suddenly, there they are, like a sign from God reminding you that you're not alone. So pay attention. Watch for those people who enter your life seemingly out of nowhere. Don't overlook unexpected encounters, encouraging words, or even small acts of kindness. They could be the very way God is guiding you, opening doors, and giving you that little nudge to keep going. These divine connections are gifts on your journey, and when you look back, you'll see that they were exactly where and when you needed them. Every destiny helper is part of God's perfect plan to move you forward, and as those destiny helpers show up and you continue down this path God is guiding you on, there's something else that starts to settle in, this deep, unexplainable peace. Even when things are tough, even when your world feels like it's spinning out of control, there's this calm inside of you, like a stillness that doesn't make sense. This peace isn't about the absence of problems. It's about the presence of God in the midst of those problems. It's like a quiet assurance that no matter what happens, God's got it all under control. It's the kind of peace that wraps around you when you should be anxious, that calms you when everything says you should be stressed. It's a clear sign that God is leading you to something greater, even if you're walking through uncertainty. Think about it. How can you feel peace when everything around you feels like chaos? It's because God gives you that peace as a reminder that you're on the right path, that you can trust Him even when you don't see how things are going to work out. It might be in a season of loss, of transition, or of waiting, but underneath it all, that peace stays steady, anchoring you, reminding you that He's guiding your every step. And this peace is contagious. It allows you to face challenges with courage, to look at the future with hope. You may not know what tomorrow will bring, but you know God is preparing something beautiful, and that's enough to keep you grounded, to keep you moving forward, even when the way seems hard. So when you feel that peace, lean into it. It's God's way of reminding you that you're not alone, that He's holding your hand and leading you to something wonderful. That peace is like a compass that keeps you on track, reminding you that even in the storm, God is still steering the ship. And as you find yourself wrapped in that peace, something amazing happens. New opportunities start to show up, and often, they come out of nowhere, from places you'd never expect. It's like God starts opening windows just when you thought all the doors were closed. All of a sudden, an unexpected job offer appears, a fresh idea pops into your head, or a path you never considered before starts to light up. These opportunities feel tailor-made for you, and you know why? Because God was already planning them long before you even knew they existed. And sometimes these opportunities come right in the middle of what seems like the hardest season. When you thought you had no options left, God steps in and flips the script, turning a crisis into a breakthrough, a setback into a setup for something greater. These new opportunities are all part of God's plan to elevate you to the next level, to bring you into experiences that will shape you, grow you, and get you closer to His purpose for your life. But you've got to be alert, ready to see them for what they are, and willing to say yes to the path He's laying out for you, even if it feels risky or out of your comfort zone. So when those doors of opportunity swing open, don't hold back. Embrace the new, take that leap of faith, because each new chance is a piece of the bigger picture God is putting together for you. And, in time, you'll realize that these unexpected opportunities were exactly what you needed to step into the destiny He's been crafting for you all along. And as you step into these new opportunities, embracing what God has laid before you, something even more beautiful unfolds. Restoration. Those things you lost along the way, those dreams that seemed forgotten, those relationships that were broken, those seasons where it felt like nothing was going right, God has a promise for you. He's a master at restoring, bringing back what was lost, but in a way that's even better than before. You see, sometimes God needs to remove certain things from your life to make room for something greater. But that doesn't mean He's leaving you empty-handed. He promises to restore what was lost and to bless your life with abundance. And this restoration can come in so many forms. It could be financial, emotional, spiritual. Whatever it is, when God restores, He doesn't just return it as it was, He multiplies it, He makes it whole. And often, you'll look back and realize that what seemed like a loss was actually a setup for something much greater. When God takes something away, it's because He's preparing something better to take its place. And when He restores, He does it in a way that you could have never imagined, turning pain into joy, mourning into dancing, lack into overflow. This restoration is more than just getting back what you had. It's stepping into a new season, a new level of fullness where you can truly experience all that God has for you. And you'll find that every tear, every battle, every closed door was part of the process to bring you to this place of divine restoration. So trust that process. It might take time. It might come in ways you don't expect. But know that God is working to restore and bless you abundantly. And when He does, it will be beyond anything you ever hoped or dreamed. And as you step into these new opportunities, embracing what God has laid before you, something even more beautiful unfolds. Restoration. Those things you lost along the way, those dreams that seemed forgotten, those relationships that were broken, those seasons where it felt like nothing was going right, God has a promise for you. He's a master at restoring, bringing back what was lost, but in a way that's even better than before. You see, sometimes God needs to remove certain things from your life to make room for something greater. But that doesn't mean He's leaving you empty-handed. He promises to restore what was lost and to bless your life with abundance. And this restoration can come in so many forms. It could be financial, emotional, spiritual. Whatever it is, when God restores, He doesn't just return it as it was, He multiplies it, He makes it whole. And often, you'll look back and realize that what seemed like a loss was actually a setup for something much greater. When God takes something away, it's because He's preparing something better to take its place. And when He restores, He does it in a way that you could have never imagined, turning pain into joy, mourning into dancing, lack into overflow. This restoration is more than just getting back what you had. It's stepping into a new season, a new level of fullness where you can truly experience all that God has for you. And you'll find that every tear, every battle, every closed door was part of the process to bring you to this place of divine restoration. So trust that process. It might take time. It might come in ways you don't expect. But know that God is working to restore and bless you abundantly. And when He does, it will be beyond anything you ever hoped or dreamed. And as your faith deepens and you walk more boldly in what God is doing, something else starts to happen. You begin to receive confirmations. Clear, undeniable signs that God is the one orchestrating these changes in your life. It's like He's saying, I see you, I'm with you, and this is exactly where you're supposed to be. These confirmations can come in so many different forms. Maybe it's an encouraging word spoken by someone who has no idea what you're going through, but they say exactly what you needed to hear. Or maybe it's a Bible verse that jumps out at you, aligning perfectly with what you're experiencing. Could even be a door that opens just at the right moment, making it clear that it's God paving the way. And sometimes, it's that feeling in your spirit, a deep sense of knowing that you're in the right place, even when it doesn't all make sense yet. It's those little moments that remind you that God's hand is on your life, guiding you, confirming that you're on the right path. You might even experience prophetic messages, dreams, or sudden revelations that shine a light on the exact situation you're facing. And each time, these confirmations serve as reminders that you're not walking this journey alone. They're like God's way of sending you a wink, a nod, a gentle nudge to keep going, to keep trusting, to keep stepping out in faith. So when you see those confirmations, take hold of them. Write them down. Remember them. Let them fuel your courage to keep moving forward. Because those confirmations are God's way of saying, I'm here, I'm speaking, and everything that's happening. Every change, every closed door, every new opportunity is all part of my plan for you. Those divine confirmations are like signposts along your journey, pointing you to His purpose, assuring you that you're right where you need to be, and giving you the strength to keep going, knowing that God is faithfully leading you every step of the way.